Hi, I'm James, and this is Did You Know? I am standing next to these three things. We got a really tall cross right here, and then we have these two things. They are candles on a stick, or torches. Now, who usually carries these things? See, we can pick them up, they can move, but we've got them right here so that we can talk about them for a little bit. Well, the person or the people who usually carry these three things, they're called acolytes. Now, what is an acolyte? Well, an acolyte is just a word that means light bearer, somebody who bears the light of Christ. And they have a really important role in our worship on Sundays and at other times. So let's talk about some of the things that they carry. So the first thing that you probably notice that an acolyte carries and moves with is this thing right here. It's a cross. It's golden, it's really beautiful, but the most important thing about it is that it's a cross and we follow it. And so when acolytes move through worship carrying the cross, we follow the cross and walk as people in the way of the cross. And so that's what it's supposed to remind us of too. And related to what I was saying earlier, they carry torches. They carry light. They literally bear light. And the reason they do that is to remind us that every person bears the light of God. Now, we don't just have three acolytes carrying things. We have lots of acolytes in our worship here at St. James because everybody has a part to play in our worship. If you look over here, we have some of the other things that acolytes carry. We have these beautiful banners that speak to our story here at St. James. And what we also have, if we just come over here, is we have flags. Acolytes sometimes carry flags as well. Now, they don't just carry any flags, they carry flags that have meaning, flags that speak to our story as Christians. And what these flags speak to is our community, what it means to be a people gathered together who follow Jesus. And there are different ways of understanding that community. Now, the first flag, you can maybe see a little bit of it here, it has our shield, it has basically our logo for our church, St. James. So this flag reminds us of our local community of Christians here at St. James. The second flag that I want you to look at is this one right here. This is the Episcopal Church flag. So this flag speaks to our community of Christians who follow in the way of Jesus as Episcopalians. So that's our second community. And the third community that our flags remind us of is this one right here. Have you ever seen this one before? This is a compass rose that is a symbol for the Anglican Communion. And the Anglican Communion is our larger Christian community of Episcopalians and other Anglicans from all over the world. There's people all over the world who are following Jesus in the same way that we are. And so this flag reminds us of that.
Oh, hello. You're probably used to the parish house down below, where we've got the classrooms and the church, but there's a lot of other cool things that happen in this building. I want to show you two cool rooms on the 5th floor. We're heading into Brenda's office. Here we have Rosa, who's Brenda's assistant. She helps organize everything here. And this is Brenda's office. Here she's got a big table for her meetings, got a Bible and a prayer book, and lots of scallop shells like we've talked about, a symbol of St. James. Over here we've got a fireplace for the winter time and for reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe at Christmas time. We've also got Brenda's desk, where she gets everything done.
Or tries to.
Or tries to. And because it's Brenda, dog bed for when furry friends come to visit, like Alma or her dog Kike. Come with me to the next room. Thanks, Brenda. Come on, we gotta go down all of this hallway. This is Miss Vicky's office. Come on in. If you ever want to read a book, I think Miss Vicky might have one to lend you. Pretty neat, huh?
Now, the last thing I want to talk about, specific to acolytes, is that they don't just stand stationary, they move, and we follow them in our worship. And so I'm going to move a little bit so that we can talk about some of the places they go to. Follow me. We're going to take our cross, we're going to walk this way, over here. I'm going to stand right here. Now, this is probably familiar to you. You likely see the acolytes standing here as probably the first place, or one of the first places that they stand in our worship. And the reason why is that they're calling us into one of the places that God meets us as we're on our journey, as we're on this way of the cross. And one of the most important places that God meets us as we're walking with Jesus, walking the way of the cross, is that he meets us here at the table. And why does he meet us at the table? Because there we break bread and we share wine. And in that sacrament and in that meal, that's one of the most special and important ways that God is present to us. Now, there's one other place that acolytes move to that's really important, that shows us where God is with us on that journey. And I'm going to go there now, and you can follow me. Come on, you can follow me. Walk down all the way. And they tend to stand right here. Now, why do they stand right here? Well, the reason why is that they are taking us to the next leg of our journey in our worship. And what happens on this leg of our journey? Here, there would typically be a priest who'd be standing right in front of me, and they'd be holding a book. And what's in that book? Well, in that book is our gospel lesson. It's God's story that he wants to share with us. And so acolytes pause to show us that the way of following Jesus, the way of walking the way of the cross, means that we need to hear God's story, because in hearing God's story, that's how we know and come to learn and have examples and come to see all of the beautiful and wonderful ways that God is with us and walking with us. So now you know.